Met everyone. In this video I want to talk about the TGE, which is actually an LGE, it's a liquidity generation event, and I want to talk about the strategies that I want to use on the TGE date, which is the 23rd October. So just 4 days until the TGE, and at the moment you actually have the opportunity to get your NFT liquidity position to print from the first block. And this is actually something unusual and probably never have been done before, because we are in the position where we can print and participate in liquidity provision and getting fees from this from the first block, which is actually only can do like projects, launch pads. As a normal human being, you had never the possibility, because you have this lag in time before you can put something in a DMM v2 or DLMM, and in this 3 minutes, for example, there's a lot of volume that you were never have been getting. And so this is a premiere that call me like this, and you still have time, so at least like 4 hours to choose the liquidity position and getting fees from the first block. And yeah, let's have a look on the strategies and how is it actually working. So when the trading will be starting and you choose the NFT position, for example, then at the start 1 billion will be the starting point, and the actual range going from 500 million up to 7.5 billion. And this is a spot position, a much bigger spot position, as you see here. So it will be evenly distributed, your liquidity will be evenly distributed like a regular spot position, but it is much bigger one, even beyond the 1500 bin steps on the DLMM. So it will be huge, but even though it's not like from 0 to infinity, it will be a bit compressed. So this is how we can then get more fees out of it, and then we can put out the liquidity at any time and put it into a regular DAMM V2 or a DLMM, but we will speak about this later. So what will happen actually? So at the start we will have like 25% swapped into the USDC, and the rest will be in the MET token. And when the price goes up, the MET token will be becoming USDC the higher it goes, and when it goes down, the USDC will buy more MET tokens. So at the 500 million range, we will be 100% MET again, even though the price of the token will be worth less. And when the price goes up at around 2 billions, we will have like 50-50, and around 3 billion there will be like 75% USDC and 25% the MET token. And the higher it will go, the more MET will be transferred into USDC, and the fees will be USDC only at this time. And yeah, this is actually a good range, and most of the people say I am against the NFT because when the price goes up, the spot value will be much more than if I would leave it in the DLMM pool. And for some reason, at some point you are right. And Giglet made a great Google sheet which shows you what will happen at the certain prices with your liquidity token position, and if you just HODL it, so just have the tokens, and which kind of impermanent loss you will face when you just use the NFT position. If it's complicated for you, you can also use tools. There are like two that I will leave in the comments, so you can like set your MET amount, which you will use as a calculation base, and then you can see what it will be worth when the current FTV will like pretty high or pretty low. So you can play around with it, and then you will see the actual result. And you can also see the volume and set it to a certain level, because we don't know exactly how much volume we will see. So, and this is something we cannot definitely say, okay, this is worth it or not. Depends on the volume and the volatility. So, and going back to the actual sheet, what I wanted to reference to people who say, I want to sell at the highest point. Okay, if you just HODL it, it will be more, worth more, but we are at the DLMM pool, so we have to understand that we will getting fees from it. And the longer you leave it, and the longer we have high volume, it could become even more if you just HODL it. So if it's just straight going to 3 billions, for example, or even higher, then the spot will be better, but the chances are, in my opinion, pretty low that it will be like this. And the longer we stay in the certain range, the more fees you will get. So you can end up to become like pretty much a big amount of fees that will cover your impermanent loss, and then you can withdraw your position and then have a much safer DLMM position as an option. So be aware of it. So this is a time sensitive thing and the volume sensitive thing. The longer it stays here, then you can have a stable fees income. This is something you can be aware of. So let's go further. We have also the fee scheduler, which will only be in this NFT position. And the fee scheduler will be around 3 minutes from 50%. When all the snipers, all the math comes, they will pay a lot of fees, which will go straight to us, the liquidity providers. And after 3 minutes, it will be up to 1%. And fees from the first block is really can be a thing here, because there will be a lot of volume that will go straight to us, the liquidity providers, and all the volumes on the DEXs will be here for an hour before the SEX listing. So this is something which is pretty great for us. And you have to understand that there will be so much volume there. There will be something probably with the chain itself. So we will see probably congestions. The app itself can lag a little bit for some minutes. Every guy who wants and girl who wants to create a DLMM pool maybe will face some problems. And you as an NFT, as an NFT holder, you will have no stress, because you are there from the first block. You can just enjoy the fees coming in. And if you're struggling, if you have just one position, okay, then I could understand not going with the NFT, because you have some fear, uncertainties about the impermanent loss. But if you have multiple, then you can just split it and then use your token position to make some profits and then buy back again when it's go down, for example, or you can just use like DLMM for it. And this is something that you can just do later after some minutes, and you have no rush. And yeah, let's go for like strategy. What do I plan personally for the LGE event on the 23rd? As we see here, this is just a representation of the, let's say, first candle on the chart. And the price action is the important thing here. And like usually, it can go up, it can go down, and it can go sideways. So these are the three options that we can see on the chart. And as I have the NFT position, I prepared from the first block, and I also have a position with tokens, because buying tokens at the first minutes, it's a bit risky for me. So this is why I choose the NFT position. So in this case, my option here is to use the one-sided sol position to catch the downside move. So this is the first option. Getting in DLMM, maybe a tighter range, maybe a mixed range where you have like a tight range first and also have a bigger range, like 70%, for example, minus 70% as a bid ask. So you can mix it. You can have like, first you set up a spot position here as a block, maybe a tighter one, maybe a 20 bin step, also a bit, you can increase it until, I don't know, 30%, for example, just to limit the risks. And this could be your first liquidity layer. Then the second one will be a bid ask layer position. So reducing your risk when the price go extremely down, you need this to catch all these fees on the downside. And if it's go up very quickly, you have your base, right? So you can leave it there, and when it goes up, you can, on a certain point when you see, okay, it's high enough and we will see a downside move, create a new one, create a new position which will be overlapping a little bit, which is also good. And then you will look and manage your liquidity when the price action changes. So this is my options that I will use. A spot, tighter spot range on the first minutes when the trading starts with the DLMM. A safety position exactly at the same moment after setting up the spot position. Increase your bin range to be a bit safe. Then a bigger bid ask, also minus 74%. And when it's go down and you have like no tokens, this could be a possibility to buy the tokens to create another position to the upside, right? So this is something that you can do when you see that the price goes down and you have your liquidity positions, one-sided sol positions already set up. Then this could also be an option to have if you wanna catch this upside move, and you of course can use the tokens from the NFT position. So you can withdraw the NFT position, then you will have tokens, and you can use these tokens, maybe part of it, to create on a certain point when we have a bit at the lower point price actions, then you can open a new one just with the token or 50-50 with sol to participate in the upside move. And I expect range that the price will go longer in a specific range. So when you remember the Trump launch or launches of bigger tokens, did you see that they go like pretty long in a certain range, and then they go down again, certain range, maybe goes up in the certain range. You can look at the pump TGE. Something similar I expect also for the MET token. So I prepare for it. So will go like longer for the sideway move, and then there will be a lot of trading volume here, and we need to catch this. And yeah, this is my play for the DLMM and the NFT position. And if you ask me how long you will stay in the NFT position, it depends on the price action and of course the fees and the volume. When I see that the volume drops significantly and the price action becomes very volatile, then maybe it makes sense to withdraw your position and then going to the DLMM options. If I see that the price stays pretty stable for a longer range, for example for an hour before when the sex trading begins, then you can leave it and then just monitor the price action and then make your own decisions. And you can also maybe withdraw some, not 100%, but maybe 50% or even less. So you can play around with this, also could be a possibility. And you have to understand that many people will drop out very, very quickly of the fee scheduler, and then there will be like less people or less MET and USDC in this pool, which maybe will be a great thing and you will earn more fees from it. And then you always have the possibility to mix these two strategies, so have tokens in this DMM pool and also in DLMM. These are my thoughts. This is how I see the actual outcome. And of course, we don't know how much volume we will get. And I'm very excited to use this tag and for the first time to be in a position to earn fees from the first block. And yeah, enjoy the LGE event. And yeah, see you in the next video.